Howdy there, nerds! Hope you're having a good day. As you can see, I'm currently leveling up Alphonse, and I figured since I'm leveling up Alphonse, it'd be worth to talk about their refines that they're coming. Yes, that's right, the Askr Trio is getting refines sometime soon, I assume. And usually I would wait a little bit more, but I'm not sure when I'm actually going to be on my computer to talk about this with a better setup. So instead, we're just going to have to roll with this, and I hope you don't mind. Hopefully. Anyways, so, Askr Trio getting refines, and, well, let's just talk about them. Let's see what is going on. I'll give you some advice on how to build them, or at least how to build into their weapons, and if you really should be bothering with them at all, okay? So we're going to be starting with our boy Alphonse, the bench warmer himself. You know, a lot of you make fun of him for what he is, and I know it's just a simple thing to do, but a lot of you, obviously, you know, his weapon has not aged well. It's, you know, a Defiant ability, which, honestly, Defiant weapons have kind of, you know, well, not Defiant weapons, but Defiant passives just haven't aged well at all. They just are massively outclassed by their newer, bigger brothers, the Brazens, and, well, he unfortunately just has that. And just to give you an idea, I am going slightly crazy with this Alphonse. I'm going to make him into something great. We're going to try and make our best boy something to write home about. Now, when it comes to what is coming, we do know at least his abilities. There's two things that we're going to be talking about when it comes to Folkvanger, according to the new Fae channel. So we have the effects on the right side, as you can see. Now, the one thing that we should point out here is that the ability that previously was there, the Defiant skill, is no longer available. Yep, that's right. The Defiant skill that was once there is just, oh god, is, well, gone. It's missing. It's over. It's now been replaced by its bigger brother, a Brazen, which is fantastic. That is one of the better abilities that he could have on his weapon, and is definitely something I think people would want. Not only that, is Brazen attack and defense, two of his strongest stats, which definitely will add more accessibility and more viability to Alphonse as a unit, so he's going to be able to make a lot of use out of that. The next thing, of course, is that its unique effect, if you refine it into its unique effect, is Triangle Adept. However, I'm just going to say this right now. I'm just going to say it as simple as I can. I do not believe you should really be worried about the Triangle Adept ability. Remember, when you upgrade your weapons, at least with these sorts, the white text is what changes when you refine it naturally, be it going into a special skill, or, you know, just refining it into stats, and the green, of course, is the special skill. So, therefore, we could skip out on Triangle Adept if we feel so inclined. And I would say you would probably want to feel so inclined. Not that Triangle Adept isn't, you know, good. It's nice to be able to take down green characters well enough. It's a godsend in some fashion. However, if you're truly a fan, you could probably go for it. I would say, when it comes to Alphonse, because, again, his two stats are really quite powerful in two forms. One, he has strong enough defense that will be useful. Remember, these characters can't be merged, and they don't have IVs, stats or boons, banes, whatever you want to refer to them as. Instead, you basically have them as they are. They're neutral, they have, you know, what they have. So, instead, we want to accent his abilities. We want to accent his attack and his defense. So, instead of going for the refine in Triangle Adept, here is my suggestion. Go for either two options. One, go for his attack or his defense in refines. I would say more for his defense, because it will add a little bit more survivability to him, it will add a little bit more that he can use, and it's just, in general, a better advantage than, say, Triangle Adept. While Triangle Adept can be useful, it's more of an all-around buff for him. This way, he doesn't have to deal with any sort of, you know, taking a little bit more hits when it comes to things, or maybe doing a bit more damage. That's just me, though. And not only that, but when it comes to building, there's a lot of other options that you can do as well. Namely, as I've shown you before, you could potentially give him Steady Breath. Steady Breath is a nice advantage if you're going into a defensive refine. It's really great. It can, you know, he's going to be having even more defense. He's going to have a bigger cooldown, and you know, he'll be able, I should say, to trigger his specials a lot quicker and do a lot more damage. The other thing you can do is double stack the Brazens. At least this should work in any stretch, because, well, that means that he's going to have plus 14 attack and defense once he hits that 80% threshold, meaning he is going to be hitting hard and taking less hits from any sort of melee unit, meaning Alphonse might be taking a little bit less time on the bench, which is sorely something I think he needed. That poor boy needs more love, and this is something that will definitely benefit him. He probably has the strongest refine out of the, trio's refinement skills. And this is something that I feel was necessary because, let's face it, these characters, since you only have one of them, since you can only have one, since you can only have their abilities, and you don't have any sort of merges or refines, I'm just going to bail out of this real quick. It's something that's necessary that these skills target their stats and particularly accent what they need. You're going to be seeing a little bit more of what I mean when we get into the next character, because we're going to be talking about Sharena next, and Sharena got an actual really nice refine as well, and Sharena's is really something just simplistic, and honestly, it's something that I can really just relate. Now, Gone is the threaten ability that she had on her weapon. Instead, it's been replaced by a nullifying effect, a neutralizing effect, meaning it's going to be getting rid of rallies and fortifies, those things during combat. So any of those green numbers that units have when they come to attack her, they're gone. It's a nicer ability, I feel, than a threaten. It can be a lot more useful in some ways, at least when it comes to certain battles. It's really debatable, but the big deal here is her new special skill that comes with this. Namely, she has the ability to, have a speed and defense bond, meaning if she's by allies, it's something that's really quite valuable, something that's really going to be useful around allies. And, well, I would say that if there's any sort of weapon, you could probably just make use out of that really well. It's a good bonding skill. It accents her stats as well. It pushes her speed up a little bit further than where it could be. That's not including, of course, any sort of ability that you may have in her A slot, or, God forbid, B slot, things like that, or even her S slot. I'm just saying that all in all, it will really add a lot more to her. It will push her beyond those limits and make her slightly more tankier and a lot more faster. And since speed is such a key stat these days, it's something that she needed as well. So I would say if you're going to refine it, going into her special effect is actually something rather useful. And that's actually probably the best special effect out of the Askr Trio. Triangle Adept for Alphonse, not so great. But a bonding effect, very, very, very useful. Very useful for Sharena. And something you will probably want to do. Just use as you can. You can always go into a slaying lance if you feel like it's necessary, but I just think this is a great concept for her. And it does do what it needs to do for her as well. It accents the stats that she needs, and it will push her further. And since these are free units, it's all the better. So, honestly, when it comes to these weapons, I would say that these are the ones that you're going to want to use your Divine Do on, because it's just really quite nice. Now, the next thing is we're going to have to talk about Anna. And Anna is, I really just hate talking about Anna right now, because it makes me sad, just a little bit sadder than it should be, because just hold on a second, okay? Just let me cry a little bit on the inside, because, well, Naotun did not get an effect that I was really hoping for. And as much as I would love it to be anything other than what it is, it's just not something that's going to be useful to her, or at least more useful than what it was. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because basically now she can teleport everywhere. She has the ability to go to certain allies and, just move a space over in case she needs to. And that can be useful. That can be. However, the problem is not fixing Anna's detriments. Alphonse, he's getting, bonus stats to his attack and defense, his stronger stats. Sharena, she's getting access to additional benefits to her speed and defense, also very valuable. Anna gets to move fast. Hooray! And it's not going to be doing that. It does not change the fact that Anna, while she has great speed, she does not have very good attack. She does not have very good defense or res. The only thing she really has that's just, useful is her speed. Her speed's quite high, naturally. And because of that, it will be a very useful, it would be nice if we could get a little bit more usefulness in that regard than just being able to move places. And Unfortunately, if there was anything I could say for this weapon, I would say skip this. If you're really considering refining any of these trios' effects or abilities, I would say do not waste it on Anna. Instead, consider something else. Maybe go for Sharena or Alphonse first. Maybe instead of giving, you know, Anna any sort of ability here, maybe go for a killer axe, or, you know, upgrade that into a slaying and then refine the slaying if you're really going that crazy. Because this skill here is not going to really boost her beyond what she is, and it's just not helping her. It's one of the sad facts that just kind of happens, and it's even worse as a unit that is free, and, you know, there's a lot more reliability from these other units here when it comes to refinements. That is just how I feel about it. And I know some of you may not agree. You might think, hey, teleporting's really useful. It's a good ability to be able to move from one place to another really quick. And yes, I can see the usage in that. But it does not change the fact that you're still on a unit that cannot be merged, that does not have IVs, cannot improve her attack, cannot improve her stats that are a little bit lacking, especially now compared to the current meta and things. It's just a bit of a disaster for her. And I hate saying that because I love Anna, and I think a lot of us can agree we love Anna. It's just she didn't get what she needed. She did not get it.
Shall we?
And that's just my opinion on it. So again, let's go from the top, okay, with these characters. Just real quick, when it comes to Alphonse, his Refine, at least, is great. His Special Refine, not so great. Triangle Adept is fine. Consider instead going into attack or defense. I would say defense more than anything when it comes to refinement. That way you still get the Brazens, and you don't get locked into being a bit weaker against blues, and, you know, doing a little bit more against greens. It's just, I don't think the trade-off is all that great. Next up, Sharena. Go into her special effect. It will allow her to do a lot more damage. Well, I mean, not a lot more damage. Take a lot more damage, and hopefully negate any sort of doubling that she might get. It's just a nice ability as long as she's around allies. It's useful, and then, you know, the neutralizing effect is cool, too. Anna, I would say skip entirely. Just, that sad, sad girl is not going to be going anywhere. I feel so bad. But that's basically it, guys. Again, hopefully this helped out a little bit. I figured I would talk about it as best I could. Do tell me what you guys think of the new refinements for these trios of characters. Trios? I'm saying these anyways. Well, the main question that I have here, though, is where the hell is my Anna ult? If you're gonna just, you know, screw her over with this weapon, I need more Anna. You know, actual Anna in the game. Next, I'm still really disappointed, by the way, in this game for not having, like, you know, gone with the obvious pun, the anniversary. Get it? Okay, anyways. So, yep, that's basically it, guys. Hopefully this helped out in some fashion and gives you a better idea of what to aim for when it comes to refines, at least for these characters, if you are free to play, if you are looking to invest in these trio of characters. It's just, it's gonna be a fun one. I really can't wait to see Alphonse off the bench. Just the idea of double stacking Brazens makes me just incredibly giddy. I can't wait. See you guys soon. Thanks for watching.